Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 13th, 2025, and Wojciech Szczesny was very close to missing the match against Dortmund. Also, Adam Aznou has been linked to Barcelona once again. And finally, the Academy could end up losing one of its biggest stars this upcoming summer. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I'm bringing you this late video. I had a pretty crazy day today. It's 2 a.m. here, but almost 3 a.m. here. But nonetheless, I had to make these news videos because there is a lot of news to cover. Starting with, of course, the news from earlier, well, not earlier today, I guess yesterday, that Barcelona defeated Leganés 0-1 with an own goal by Leganés. You know, it was a very difficult and challenging match for Barcelona, but nonetheless, Barcelona were able to take home these very, very important 3 points ahead of Real Madrid's match. They're set to play today in the morning against Alaves. So right now, Barcelona are 7 points ahead of Real Madrid. And depending on the results of the match between Madrid and Alaves, it either goes back to 4, maybe down to 6, or who knows, maybe stays at 7. Now, I did do a post-match live analysis, so if you do want to hear my analysis, my thoughts about the match between Barcelona and Leganés, make sure to check out that video on the channel. Now, speaking of matches, it has been revealed that Wojciech... Oh, actually, I forgot. There's one thing before we need to mention before Wojciech Szczesny, which is the Copa del Rey final, because Barcelona have announced that they have noticed resale of tickets of the Copa del Rey final, and as such, they will be implementing strict measures to combat this. Now, as you know, the Copa del Rey final match between Barcelona and Real Madrid will be played in Sevilla's match, La Cartuja. Barcelona have been allotted 25,000 tickets, and given the incredible high demand of people wanting to purchase tickets, Barcelona implemented a lottery that you would have to apply to. And, you know, if you get chosen, you are able to buy tickets. Now, Barcelona have noticed, by the way, this lottery was only available to either club socios or Peña members, official Peña members. Now, Barcelona have noticed that a lot of people who won the lottery and bought the tickets, they have been using other websites to resell them at incredible high prices, up to 1,000 euros per ticket. And Barcelona, of course, did not like that whatsoever. And they have announced that any tickets that have been resold, that Barcelona notices that that ticket has been resold to someone else, it will be canceled. And that person will not be allowed to enter the stadium during the final. And I have to say, I applaud Barcelona for doing this, because doing this is absolutely shameful. We all remember what happened during that Europa League match between Barcelona and Eintracht Frankfurt, where pretty much it was a match at the Camp Nou, but nonetheless, it seemed like an away match. The whole stadium was full of German fans, and it was all thanks to the Barca socios who decided to purchase tickets and then resell them, and ended up filling out the stadium with German fans. And well, if you are looking to resell, that ticket can end up in the hands of Real Madrid fans. And the last thing we want is for Barcelona to be playing in a stadium full of Real Madrid fans in a final, in a cup final. So I'm glad Barcelona are doing this. Not to mention, you know, there has been such high demand that they have to implement a lottery. You know how many people would love to be there, and yet here you are, you get a chance at this ticket. But what do you do with it? You go and resell it just so you can make more money. Absolutely shameful behavior. So I'm glad that Barcelona are doing this, and any tickets that they notice that has been resold, it will be canceled. And I'm glad that Barcelona are doing this. Now we can talk about Wojciech Szczesny, since I did jump the gun, but it has been revealed that Szczesny almost missed the match against Dortmund. You know, on Sunday, Szczesny woke up with pain in his abdomen. He complained to that about his pain to the doctors of Barcelona. They thought it was appendicitis, and they were gonna, do a surgery on him if that was confirmed, of course, through medical tests. So it was set for Iñaki Peña to start in his place against Dortmund. But then once Szczesny underwent medical exams, it was revealed that it was kidney stones. Now, with kidney stones, first they give you medication to see if you can pass the kidney stones. And if not, you obviously have to undergo surgery so they can be removed surgically. Now, Szczesny did take the medication. Thankfully, he ended up passing the kidney stones. And on Monday, the following day, he was the first one to show up to training, which is absolutely amazing. It just goes to show the dedication of Wojciech Szczesny. Now, I've never had kidney stones, but I know people who had, and they all tell you it's the most painful experience that you can go through. Like, it takes hours and hours for the kidney stones to pass through you, and as they're going through you, because they're bigger than the channels that they're going through, it causes a lot of pain. And yeah, here you go. Szczesny takes his medication, passes the kidney stones, probably smokes a pack of cigarettes, and the next day he shows up to training. And on Wednesday, he was ready to start for Barcelona against Dortmund in a Champions League quarterfinals, ladies and gentlemen. Wojciech Szczesny, what a guy. Anyways, let's move on to the next bit of news. Since we just mentioned Dortmund and Dortmund playing the Bundesliga, we have to talk about another Bundesliga team, which is Bayern Munich. And why? Because Adam Aznou has been linked with Barcelona yet once again. Now, Adam Aznou is someone that we talked about in a previous video. He's an 18-year-old left back who is a Bayern Munich player, but he's currently on loan with Real Valladolid in La Liga. His contract is set to expire in 2027, which means this summer he'll be entering the not the final year of his contract, but I guess the second to last year of his contract. And German media outlets are reporting that Barcelona are considering bringing Adam Aznou back. Now, you might say, what do you mean bringing him back? Well, Adam Aznou is someone who came up through the Barcelona academy, and given, that he saw there's a lot of competition for the left back position, including Balde. He came up through with Balde. And of course, Balde was ahead of him. He decided to leave the Barcelona academy, join the Bayern Munich academy, and now German media are stating that Barcelona are kind of, tracking the player, trying to rehome him, bring him back to Barcelona so he can compete with Balde for the left back position. Now, it's reported that Bayern Munich are not looking to let Adam Aznou leave. They want him to compete with Alphonso Davies. However, Alphonso Davies did just extend his contract with Bayern Munich. So that, of course, could limit the minutes of Adam Aznou. But good news for Adam Aznou, not for Davies. Davies has suffered a pretty serious injury. He's going to be out for a very long time. So that could provide an opportunity for Adam Aznou to start playing for Bayern next season. But again, the news is that Barcelona are considering bringing him back. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this news myself from reporters that are close to Barcelona who are in Spain, but the German media outlets continue to mention this name and continue to link him to Barcelona. So I imagine there is some truth to this. Now, of course, my question to you guys is, do you think Barcelona should bring back Adam Aznou? Do you think he'd be a good fit? Let me know down below in the comment section. And speaking of the academy, I do have bad news because Guille Fernandez, one of the most promising players to come out of the academy, who's currently playing for Barca Athletic, is reportedly considering leaving Barcelona this summer. Now, the 17-year-old midfielder is a very promising player alongside his cousin, Tony Fernandez, who's an attacker. And it's reported that his entourage are considering leaving because he is not playing for the first team. And that right there is very disappointing to hear, because I think a lot of these youngsters need to understand that being able to jump to the first team when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, that's not the rule, that's the exception. And not everybody can be Lamine Yamal, not everybody can be Pau Cubarsí, not everybody can be Messi. Sometimes you have to put in the work, you have to be patient if you hope to play for the first team. And you cannot just look at Lamine and Cubarsí and think, oh, well, they're 17 and they're playing in the first team, that means I can. Because again, those guys are the exception, not the rule. Iniesta didn't really become like a big deal in the first team until he was 24, 25. Xavi didn't become a big deal in the first team until he was 25, 26. And they are the two best midfielders in the history of Barcelona. So I think these players need to start getting used, or start to understand, that just because you're good and just because you see players like Lamine and Cubarsí debuting at such a young age doesn't mean that everybody else can. Sometimes you just have to be patient. You have to put in the work. And it's absolute sad and shame that Guille Fernandez is considering leaving. Now, there are, of course, plenty of clubs interested in him, including Porto, Dortmund, and even Manchester City. Hopefully, he decides to stay, but for now, he is considering leaving. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be going live in a few more moments because there is more news to cover. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.